Hello, welcome to the Robotics for Kids tutorial. My name is Emerike Adaeze. I'm a STEM education facilitator and I'll be your guide through this video. Hi guys, how are you doing today? And how did the Scratch game task go? I know there may have been a few hitches while programming, but I'll be recreating the game in that task in this video. So hopefully this video will provide answers to all the questions you have. Okay, let's jump right into it. I'll take out the sprites. Now let's see the task. In this game, a mouse will try to get past two carts and get to a bread he wants to eat. So basically the cart is in between the mouse and the bread, and all you have to do is to code a game to make the mouse maneuver the space in the game background and get past the cart so that it can get to the bread. So the first step here says you can start by writing a program to make the mouse move. A suggestion is to use the arrow keys to control the mouse to move in 4 directions: up, down, left and right, or you can use the mouse pointer by having it chase after the mouse. So let's go back to the Scratch IDE. Okay, let's select our mouse. Here we have the mouse. I'll reduce its size because the screen is actually small. 60. Yeah, this looks better. So now to get this mouse to move, there are 2 ways we can do that. The first one is to use the arrow keys. Okay, the up arrow key. So the idea is when the up arrow key on my keyboard is pressed, I would like this mouse to move upwards. So here I would say point in direction. I'll choose the direction it should point towards, and then I'll select how many steps I would like for it to take in that direction. So for this, since it's going upwards, I'll drag this arrow upwards. That's 0 degrees. Now let's try it. I'm going to press the arrow key on my keyboard. Yeah, it's pointing in the direction 0 degrees and it's taking 10 steps forward every time I click the arrow key. You see? Okay, now so what you simply do is duplicate this for here. Now we have them 4 times. You set for the down arrow key, set a direction. Down arrow key will give you 180. Yes, it should take 10 steps. Then for this we have the left arrow key, then we'll set -90. It should take 10 steps. And finally we have the right arrow key, direction 90 degrees and 10 steps. So now you can move to the left, to the right, downwards and upwards. So that's one way you can get the mouse to move. Then the second way is, let me take out all of this. You come to the event. When flag is clicked, let's go to motion, point towards mouse pointer, move 10 steps. So this is the mouse pointer, the cursor. So when this is clicked, sorry, I should add the control structure so that it doesn't do that once, to do it repeatedly. So anywhere I take my mouse, that is where the mouse will go to. You see, wherever my pointer is going to, that is where the mouse in the game will go towards here. And then if I come here, I'll cancel it. But I don't want to use the mouse pointer. I'll prefer to use the arrow keys. So I'll take this back and get back my arrow keys. Okay, point in direction, move 10 steps upwards, 90 degrees, 0 degree. So duplicate 3 times. Yeah, so downwards 180 degrees. To the left minus 90 degrees, and to the right 90 degrees. Okay, so now we have our mouse going wherever we want it to, in whatever direction we choose, just by using the 4 arrow keys. Now let's go back to the instruction. So the second one says, step 2, the cards, 2 cards. Choose 2 card sprites and position them in between the rat and the bread. Then write a program for the cards to move back and forth across the screen continuously. They should keep moving in one direction, maybe at different pace for each card. When any of the cards reaches the edge of the stage, the card should bounce and move in the opposite direction. Okay, so let's search for the card sprites. I'll take this, I'll simply come here and duplicate. Now we have 2 cards. So my mouse will be on this side of the screen here. I want the cards to be in the middle, so I'll resize my cards, change the size to 80. That's smaller, and this one to 80. Now that is smaller. Okay, so I want both cards to move at different pace, and I want them to move in different directions. So for this one, for card 2, the code will be when flag is clicked, move 10 steps. I'll change this 10 to 5 steps. And if you're on the edge, bounce. So as the code is right now, it's only going to execute once, but then because I want the card to move continuously, if it gets to here, it should bounce, come back. When it gets to this side, it should bounce, go back. The movement should be continuous. So I'll add the control structure forever too here. So let's see card 2. Okay, all right, that's fine. And now I'll stop it. Okay, now my cards are opposite each other. I'll simply just drag this code and drop it in card 3. Okay, now card 3 has the same code because this card 2 has gotten to this edge and bounced back, and card 3 is still here. When next I click the flag, both cards will be moving in opposite directions. Okay, let's try this. Yes. Yeah, this is what I want. So if I want to increase the speed of the cards, I'll just change this number to 10 and this to 10. Yes, now it's faster, and it will be harder for the rat to get past these cards and come to the side of the screen. Okay, so I'll stop this. Let's go back to the question again. Step 3 says choose a bread sprite and position it at the opposite end of the screen in relation to the mouse. If the mouse crosses the cards successfully, it should be able to eat the bread. Write a code to make the bread disappear when the mouse touches it. This you can do by writing a program for the bread sprite to hide itself when it is touched by the mouse. When the green flag is clicked, the bread should reappear. Sorry, this should have been bread. Okay, let's get back to coding. We'll choose a sprite, the bread sprite. Bread. I like for my bread to be here, and I'll resize the bread to 60. Yeah, this looks better, so that everything fits into the screen properly. Okay, so the plan is for the bread to disappear whenever the rat touches it, whenever the rat comes in contact with it. So we'll write a code that says when flag is clicked, we'll go to those, show the sprite, the bread. We want to make sure that it is visible. Then we'll go to control and take this code that says wait until, go to sensing, until the bread is touching the mouse 1. Then hide. Okay, now let's try this. Yeah, that's perfect. The bread is gone. That is what we want. If the mouse comes in contact with the bread, it should disappear, and the mouse should be able to navigate any part of the screen at any time while the cards are roaming in between the mouse and the bread. So I'll stop this, and the bread is showing again. Yeah, that is great. Okay, so we can put this, can add this control structure here, so that it will be a repetitive process. We could do it more than once. And the bread shows up again. It will eat, disappear. It will show up again. It could eat again, disappear, and the rest. So now the next instruction is to add an extra feature. It should be any feature of your choice. It could be to add a score, to add sound, to add background, to whatever is in your mind, whatever your creative spirit says, just add it to the game. So I'll be adding a couple of features. Let's go back to the game, and of course there will be a scenario where the cards will come in contact with the rat and the game will have to stop. So let's go over to the game. So the first thing I would like to do is to write a code for the scenario where the mouse will touch the cards. So if the mouse comes in contact with the cards, any of the cards, what should happen? The game should abruptly end. So we'll go to event, select when flag is clicked. I'll go to control. I say wait until. We'll go to sensing. Select until touching cat 2. What would we like to happen? Control and all. And remember, we have 2 cats here, cat 2 and cat 3. So this code is for a case where the mouse is touching cat 2, but then we'll need the same thing for cat 3 as well. So we'll just duplicate this and change this value to cat 3. So in a case that the mouse comes in contact with either cat 2 or 3, the entire game would stop. Okay, so let's see that. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so to make this more realistic, we can set a definite position for the mouse in the beginning of the game. Let's see, for example, when the flag is clicked, the first thing we want, the place we want the mouse to appear is here at the bottom of the screen. So it has set a particular position. For X is on 11 and for Y it's on minus 152. So we will go to motion and select go to X 11 and Y minus 152. Even if the game ends with the mouse over here, once you click the flag for a new game to start, the mouse will automatically come back to this position and then you can start playing from here. Let's try this and see. Okay, now I'll click on the flag for a new game to start. We have the mouse back at the original position. Okay, now we have it again. So another feature I'd like to add is sound. I'll be adding 2 sounds. First, I want a sound to play for the entire game. I'll come over here to select my sound. Let me use loops. Okay, I'll take this. And I'll go back to the code and select dubstep. So in the beginning of the game, I'd like for this sound to play dubstep, and it should play all through the game. So I'll go to the control structure, select forever, and forever would be only for the sound. So now once the game starts, this sound will start to play. Oops, I think these cards are too fast. Let me reduce the steps to 7, and this one 7 again. That's nice. So what again, I'd like to add a sound for when the mouse comes in contact with the bread. So let's go back to the bread. Here it says hide, then I'd like for a sound to play. Select a sound. Let me go to notes. Okay, I'll take this. That's perfect. I'll select the sound A minor. Now let's try it. Yes, did you hear the sound for the bread? That's perfect. So now this bread is constantly appearing in one position. What if we write a code for this bread to appear in different positions at random? So if the mouse eats the bread here for the first time, maybe the bread can appear here the second time, so the mouse will have to find its way here to eat the bread, and then it will disappear again and appear here, just any random position. What we'll do is to select the code that says go to random position and insert it here. So this code says when the flag is clicked, make sure that the bread is displaying. So wait until the bread is touching mouse 1, this mouse, then hide the bread to indicate that the mouse has eaten the bread. Then the bread will go to a random position, a sound will play, and then the bread will show again and the process will repeat itself. So now let's try this. Yes, so now we have the bread in different position. Whoa. Alright guys, so what again should I add? Okay, the score. I like for there to be a score. The score will be for the mouse, of course. So I'll go back to variable. I'll create a variable named score, and I want it to be only for mouse 1. Okay, so here we'll have our variable. So we'll go to events. When the flag is clicked, we want score to be set to 0. Score should be set to 0. Then we should go to control. If then, if the mouse is touching the bread, then increase our score by 1. Okay, so if touching the bread, go to variable, change score by 1, then iterate the process, repeat the process. Okay, now let's see if there will be any increase in score. Yes, our score increased. So now I have 1 point. Get close. Oh, again. Okay. Oh, whenever I could have played this. Okay. Alright. So guys, basically that's it for the game. I don't think there's any other feature I'd like to add. I don't want to change the backdrop. This is okay, this is cool for me. Our carts, they are moving. If you want to regulate the speed of the cart, like I said, just change this figure in here for both sprites, for both cart sprites. And then of course our bread disappeared and reappeared in a different position. The mouse, I chose to control the mouse with arrow keys instead of the mouse pointer. That's the cursor. We have a song for the game. We have score. We have what again? Okay, the feature of getting caught. If the mouse comes in contact with the cat, that's the end of the game. So that is it. I hope I answered your questions, and you could review yours if you were not able to get something like this and see what you should remove and what you should add. Take care.